The sky was darkening over Portland, Oregon, casting long shadows over the bustling city below. It was a chilly November evening, the kind that hinted at the coming winter, with a crispness in the air that made people pull their coats a little tighter. At the airport, passengers were boarding Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, an ordinary Boeing 727 bound for Seattle. The terminal buzzed with the usual pre-flight activity, families saying their goodbyes, business travelers checking their watches. Little did they know, this routine flight was about to take a sharp turn into the realm of the extraordinary, a journey that would be etched into the annals of aviation history. It would become a story whispered for decades, a mystery that gripped a nation, the case of D.B. Cooper. A tale of audacity and intrigue that would baffle authorities and captivate the public. Among the passengers was a man who called himself Dan Cooper. He was unremarkable at first glance, blending in with the other travelers. He wore a dark suit, a neatly knotted tie, and a calm demeanor that belied the chaos he was about to unleash. His presence was so ordinary that no one gave him a second thought. He settled into seat 18E, ordered a bourbon and soda, and lit a cigarette, blending seamlessly into the background hum of pre-flight anticipation. The other passengers were unaware that they were sharing the cabin with a man who had meticulously planned a daring heist. But Cooper held a secret, one that would soon transform this ordinary flight into a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. His calm exterior masked a mind racing with plans and contingencies. Shortly after takeoff, as the plane climbed through the darkening sky, Cooper made his move. The moment he had been waiting for had arrived. He passed a note to Florence Schaffner, a flight attendant. She initially thought it was just another passenger's flirtation. The note's message was chillingly simple. I have a bomb. It was a declaration that would set off a chain of events no one on board could have anticipated. Cooper's demands were precise: $200,000 in unmarked bills, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle. He had thought of everything, leaving nothing to chance. The flight's trajectory had shifted, veering sharply from the mundane to the perilous. The crew had no choice but to comply, their lives and those of the passengers hanging in the balance. The passengers, unsuspecting just moments before, were now hostages in their own seats, hurtling through the night sky with a mystery man at the controls. Fear and uncertainty gripped the cabin as they realized the gravity of their situation. Fear rippled through the cabin, a palpable tension that seemed to thicken the very air. As the gravity of Cooper's demands sank in, the passengers exchanged worried glances, their minds racing with the possibilities of what might come next. The flight crew, trained for emergencies, maintained a delicate balance of compliance and composure. They moved with a practiced calm, their faces betraying none of the anxiety they surely felt. They relayed Cooper's demands to authorities on the ground, each message a lifeline to the outside world. The FBI, thrust into a high-stakes race against time, scrambled to meet Cooper's demands, their minds working overtime to devise a plan. The clock ticking with each passing minute, adding to the mounting pressure. Cooper, throughout the ordeal, remained remarkably calm. His demeanor was almost unnerving in its steadiness. He spoke little, his voice low and steady, a stark contrast to the chaos he had unleashed. But his eyes, as described by witnesses, held a chilling intensity, a window into the cold calculation behind his actions. He was a study in contradictions, a meticulous planner who vanished into thin air, leaving behind a trail of questions and theories. A cunning criminal who captured the public's imagination, becoming a legend in his own right. The more elusive he remained, the more captivating he became, a ghost that haunted the annals of aviation history. As the Boeing 727 circled above Seattle, its passengers held their breath. The authorities worked feverishly below, their efforts a race against time and uncertainty. The ransom money was assembled, $20 bills with recorded serial numbers, each bill a potential clue, a potential breadcrumb trail leading back to the enigmatic hijacker, if only they could follow it. 4 parachutes, their silk lines holding the promise of escape, were loaded onto the plane, each one a symbol of Cooper's audacity. The stage was set for the most daring act of Cooper's audacious plan, a leap into the unknown that would cement his place in history. With the ransom secured and the plane refueled, Cooper instructed the crew to set course for Mexico City. The tension in the air was palpable as the crew followed his orders, knowing that any misstep could lead to disaster. He demanded the plane fly at a low altitude, further complicating the pilot's already treacherous task. The low altitude meant higher fuel consumption and increased risk, but Cooper was adamant. The passengers, their faces etched with anxiety, clung to the hope of a safe landing. They whispered among themselves, trying to make sense of the unfolding drama. Every engine hum, every air pocket bump, amplified the tension that held the cabin captive. The uncertainty of their fate weighed heavily on everyone aboard. Then, somewhere over the rugged wilderness of southwest Washington state, Cooper made his move. The landscape below was a mix of dense forests and jagged mountains, a daunting sight even from the air. He ordered the crew to remain in the cockpit, ensuring their safety as he prepared for his audacious escape. The crew, though relieved to be out of immediate danger, couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. Donning one of the parachutes, Cooper directed the flight attendant to lower the aft stairs. The cold wind rushed in, a stark reminder of the perilous jump he was about to make. With a blast of frigid air and the roar of the engines filling his ears, Cooper stepped into the night. The darkness swallowed him almost instantly, leaving the crew and passengers in stunned silence. He vanished into the darkness and the rugged terrain below, taking with him the secrets of his identity and his motive. The vast wilderness seemed to conspire with him, hiding him from the world. The plane, lighter by one passenger and $200,000, continued its southward journey, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions that would linger for decades to come. The legend of D.B. Cooper was born that night, a mystery that still captivates imaginations to this day. The landing of Flight 305 in Reno, Nevada, marked the beginning of one of the most extensive manhunts in FBI history. The authorities scoured the vast wilderness where Cooper was believed to have landed, their search hampered by darkness, dense forests, and the chilling realization that they were chasing a ghost. Every passing hour added another layer of uncertainty to the case. The investigation was a tangled web of leads, theories, and dead ends. The ransom money, carefully marked, never resurfaced, deepening the mystery even further. Was it possible that Cooper, a man who had meticulously planned the hijacking, had simply vanished without a trace? The FBI interviewed hundreds of people, each interview adding a piece to the puzzle, but none revealing the complete picture. The case captured the public's imagination. D.B. Cooper, the enigmatic skyjacker, became a folk hero to some, a symbol of daring and defiance. To others, he was a criminal who had jeopardized the lives of innocent people. But one thing remained constant. The mystery of D.B. Cooper refused to be forgotten.